Hello, Jennies, and welcome back for another episode of Disney Characters You May Never Know. Today's character is the one that is the reason I'm speaking like this. Captain Gore, also known as Captain Gideon Gore, or his full reputation name, Captain Gideon Gore, and sometimes known as Captain Blood and Black Bart, depending on the ride, was the original antagonist for an early version of the Portside Haunted Mansion in Disneyland, created by Ken Anderson. Captain Gore was a murderous yet wealthy sea captain that owned a seaside mansion that is now plagued with supernatural occurrences. His story has since been downgraded and now only serves as an inspiration for the sea captain portrait in the Haunted Mansion. Here is his story. The attraction Captain Gore was housed in was originally going to be a walkthrough type, with many of its concepts, functions, and making it a more lighthearted haunted mansion, and a loose variation of the storyline that winded up in Phantom Mansion in Disneyland Paris. The Priscilla character, his wife, eventually became the famous bride ghost seen in the attic of the Haunted Mansion. We know her today as Constance Hatchaway, but back then that character was not created yet. Ken Anderson first wrote up a story for Disneyland about a nautical-themed manor owned by Captain Gore and his bride. Captain Gore had a shady backstory, though it varies in drafts. Though one thing is certain, Captain Gore is a murderer, and his bloodthirsty acts gave him the name. The tour of his abode would take place in a picture gallery with a winding staircase leading up to an unseen room. The host is the butler named Beauregard, who then lowers the guests into the basement, as the floor is a secret lift. A concept that would later be used during the stretching room at most haunted mansions. The tour begins in the basement and proceeds up to the foyer. As the butler would tell the story of Captain Gore, hairy hands would emerge from the wall behind him in an attempt to kidnap, supposedly, Captain Gore's hand. Guests would then encounter the ghostly bride Priscilla, slowly revealing the true story of Captain Gore. The end of the attraction would be marked by a well with a massive clue to the events scratched in the wall, saying, "Ding dong dell, Priscilla's in the well, who threw her in, the wicked Capitan." The butler finished by saying, "And about the color of the water, maybe it's the reflection of the sun, but by an odd coincidence, it's blood red." Many believe Captain Gore killed his bride by stuffing her in a chest and throwing her down the well, and another draft states that he just threw herself and no chest into the well. Either way, the ghost of Priscilla tormented Captain Gore every night, and he hung himself in the rafters. Captain Gore is currently commemorated by a highly obscure tombstone hidden by the foliage in the Walt Disney World Haunted Mansion. The murderer role in the Haunted Mansion was eventually picked up by a well-known character who we might talk about later, Constance Hatchaway. So here's the part where I talk about the comics, because I need to. So we have two different comics. There was the Haunted Mansion comic series that came out like back in the 90s, and then we have the Disney Kingdom's Haunted Mansion comic series. So we're going to start with the first one. In this comic series, the Captain Gore story, using his code name Captain Blood, is incorporated into the backstory of Master Gracie, who is useless in the story, but I'll get there, in a manner that blends with the story of the mansion with the Pirates of the Caribbean, which link below to Offhand Disneyland, who explains this better than I do. Link below to him. After mutinying against his captain Randall Pace, who would eventually become the Hatbox Ghost, he took up an alias named Captain Blood. He became one of the most successful pirates operating in the Caribbean. But when the golden age of piracy went into decline, he betrayed his crew and retired in New Orleans, again assuming the Gracie name. So yeah, in this one, he's Master Gracie / Captain Blood / Gracie again. Technically, I don't really believe that the 90s Haunted Mansion comic series counts, since it's not really his Captain Gore, but in some ways you could believe it is. The Disney Kingdoms is a bit more understandable. An inspiration of Captain Gore serves as the antagonist for the Disney Kingdom series of Haunted Mansion. He is simply referred to as the Sea Captain and appears to be a combination between the Mariner portrait and Captain Gore character originally used. Though it isn't Captain Gore himself, the character directly alludes to him multiple times. He had trapped all the ghosts in the mansion with a curse and seeks a treasure guarded by Constance Hatchaway. The Sea Captain was eventually beheaded by Constance due to simply being an annoyance to her and pirates sing too much in her head. His head is kept locked away in one of the Hatbox's ghosts. So yeah, that's about it. Sorry for the somewhat short episode. Captain Gore has a very unique storyline to him. And there's not much else I can say other than that he's kind of unique in the... I gotta go answer the door. What? Okay. You're fucking kidding me, right? Fine. Alright, so eventually my friend... And yeah, I know, that was just a little sketch for you guys. Hope you enjoyed. Nah, Nick gave me another paper like a few minutes ago. That I should emphasize the legacy of Captain Gore. Despite being an ultimately unused concept, the character of Captain Gore has persisted as an inspiration and reference both in parks and other media. Mainly at Walt Disney World is the explanation I should tell you. On the hillside near the entrance to the mansion in Liberty Square in Walt Disney World is a graven note epithet, which has the name Bartholomew Gore in it. This tombstone was debuted in 2011 outside the Walt Disney World's version of the Haunted Mansion as part of an interactive queue installation. Though the interactiveness is now gone, the great grave still stands there. Though this is confusing as they give him the name Bartholomew Gore instead of Gideon Gore Lou or some other version of it, it is pretty unique to see that, yes, he's still active in the parks. And that's about it. Peace out, and have a good day.